Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Talk Tissue. We are very excited today to talk to Gary Urban, who is the sales account manager for the Americas for Elettric80, also known as E80.
Hi, Brian.
Gary, thank you so much. Thank you for joining us. I love that picture back there. It's Italy, right? That's your headquarters?
It is. Thanks for having me. And exactly that's what it is. It's the headquarters in Italy.
I look forward to talking to you today. I think your name is fairly well known in the tissue industry, but you also serve many other industries that many may not be familiar with. Could you walk us briefly through some of the history and maybe some of the markets you cover as E80?
Absolutely. Thanks, Brian. So E80, in terms of history, was founded in 1980. Our headquarters are in northern Italy in the small town of Diano. It's in the province of Reggio Emilia. During the past, let's say the first 20 years of business, I think we're most commonly known in the tissue industry for our robotic palletizing solutions. But in 1992, we installed our first autonomous vehicles in an Italian company called Coasterplast. And it's from then on that we began our development towards integrated automated solutions. That is, not just making the perfect pallet, but transferring the pallets and handling the entire material flow with our autonomous vehicles. Sure, we continue to supply and integrate our robotic islands, but today they form only a subcomponent of our complete integrated solutions.
Okay, yeah. Whenever I do travel to a mill and get to be in the mill, I see your vehicles all over the place, and the very unique color of that yellow really sticks out. So people quickly know what E80 is. So that is a nice attention getter. So you mentioned some of the products you offer. Can you update us on the current product portfolio of E80?
Absolutely. So E80 has developed a vast portfolio, Brian, of products that allow us to customize each solution. The portfolio includes a wide array of robotic palletizers, high-speed robotic wrappers, an impressive range of laser-guided vehicles, systems that check the condition of the wooden pallets, layer picking systems, ASRS, high-density automated warehouses, and of course our software, Smile E80, the conductor or the brain that ensures that all the machines perform the right job in the right place and at the right time.
Gotcha. A lot of the products that are specific to the tissue industry, like you said, they're autonomous, and maybe 20 years ago, 20, 30 years ago, you're saying you're starting in 1980. It wasn't as common to see these autonomous vehicles in these locations. Now moving forward to 2020, the pandemic hits, there's a surge in demand for products. Were you able to meet the demand as a company for E80? How did you guys face that demand, and what were the outcomes?
Well, I think that since March of 2020, this pandemic has affected, of course, everyone on a personal level, but also professionally. And the reaction in terms of how it's affected the E80 varies depending on the industrial sector and the country in which we operate. So in some countries, there's been a notable slowdown of investment in automation, no doubt about that. But in other countries, Brian, like here in North America, for example, investment has accelerated and growth remains quite steady. So to give you an idea, between 2016 and 2020, our sales doubled. Wow. And our sales are expected to double again heading into 2024, according to the current trend, despite the pandemic. So on the other hand, it's fair to say that the current investment trend in automation is ascending.
Yes, I would agree with that as well. I think there's going to be further investments in those areas, especially for companies that are tissue manufacturers that are trying to keep up with the other tissue manufacturers. You're going to have to invest in automation. You're going to have to speed up and be quicker. So you're saying that you doubled your growth in 4 years, and you're looking on that. That's the same trajectory you're heading down these next 4 years. What has that surely impacts your staff, impacts the growth, impacts, cash, capital. How has that impacted you as a company?
It's a really good question because in fact, the impact on E80 from my point of view has been quite interesting and very impressive to watch. I say that because I've seen E80 increase their investments in quite an accelerated and targeted way, starting with people, their employees who are young, motivated, highly qualified.
Sure.
And naturally, investment in R&D remains a pillar. But what's impressed me the most is how E80's invested in the future of the company through new infrastructure and acquisitions. The new infrastructure includes new industrial facilities that house dedicated business units. And in terms of acquisitions, E80's integrated their best suppliers, those having proven strategic industrial capabilities key to E80's stability and growth. These include software design, laser-guided vehicle manufacturing, lithium battery and induction charging manufacturing, all technologies crucial to our core business. So today, Brian, as a matter of fact, E80 is a group. In fact, we just recently changed the legal name of the company from Electric80 to E80 Group. And the group is made up of companies that were previously our best suppliers of those technologies. Now they're our partners. And this secures a vertically integrated supply chain while allowing us to develop and keep the know-how and experience in-house.
That's very interesting strategy for your growth. I mean, that makes sense how you're able to grow so fast. Let's move on to, if you can explain a little bit more about the industrial sectors that E80 specializes in.
Sure, of course, Brian, with pleasure. E80 focuses on production plants and distribution centers that produce or warehouse products of mass consumption, particularly in the food, beverage, and tissue sectors. We also work in other sectors such as ceramics, chemical products, and personal care, but all according to the applicability and added value of our solutions.
Okay, and what about geographically? Let's talk about geographics. What areas are you serving in? What are your main areas of manufacturing, sales activity?
Mm-hmm. So over the years, we've established subsidiaries near our most important installations that ensure optimal support to our clients. So each office that we have really has its history rooted and linked to a first installed project. Then once established, the office develops a team of people with the necessary technical commercial skills who manage the local and regional business. Today, our business activities extend to every region, comprising 14 offices worldwide, 4 serving only the Americas.
Wow. Okay. Let's talk for a moment about an automated and integrated solution. How does E80 define an automated and integrated solution, and what does that consist of? Okay.
Well, the short answer is that an automated integrated solution combines hardware and software. That's it. That's the short answer. Now, in the case of Electric80, Brian, we combine our own proprietary smart technology, that's the hardware, with our own proprietary software, that's the brain.
Yeah.
With this combination, we manage the flow of materials and finished products in the plant or DC end to end, automatically and with 100% traceability and safety. I'll give you an example. In a tissue factory, the raw materials we manage are the parent reels, the polyethylene film reels, the glue, the core board, etc. So how do we manage all of this? Our software directs our hardware, the LGVs, to collect the correct material and deliver it to the right machine at the right time. With all the material flow handled reliably and completely automatically, the converting plant manager is freed from those tasks, and therefore he's able to focus his attention fully on maximizing production. And the same happens with the finished product. Our vehicles collect the pallets of finished product when they leave the palletizers or the stretch wrappers, and they deliver the finished pallets to the correct position within the warehouse or to one of our ASRS systems or the pre-staging area on the shipping docks, or even directly on board the truck, however directed by our software.
Gary, there will be those who see this video who will ask if the E80 software communicates with the ERP system of the plant or DC in which you operate.
Well, it's a good question, actually, Brian, and I'm happy to answer it. The answer is yes, absolutely. Our software communicates with our client's ERP system, but there's one distinction worth underscoring. If, as can happen on rare occasions, our client's ERP server is temporarily disabled, our system, which is independent and logistics dedicated, continues operating, directed by our software without interruption. Then, once the plant's ERP is reactivated, the two systems synchronize. In other words, with E80, shipping never stops. That's very important.
Gotcha. Of all the machinery in the E80 portfolio that we've discussed so far, what makes you determine which of the machines to integrate into the systems that you're designing?
Okay. Well, to design the system, we rely on Electric80 Consulting Services, an in-house team of engineers highly experienced in designing our systems. So they follow a well-proven design process in which our clients fully participate. What characterizes the design process is the reoccurring emphasis of three KPIs: space optimization, productivity, and sustainability. It all starts with the collection of data and information, and it's during this process that the ideal machinery to integrate is revealed. Then, once the design phase is completed, we simulate the complete system over time, in periods of weeks or months.
Sure.
And this simulation raises the reliability level of the solution to between 90 and 95%. Let's see an example.
Gary, seeing this greenfield layout, it kind of reminds me of a semiconductor chip or some kind of circuit board. There's so much technology placed on this layout. What are the design goals for this project? How do you put it all together?
Well, in this particular case, it's an actual project that we've already begun installing this past several months. The owner had two main goals, Brian. He wanted to have a factory that produced more tons per person employed and more tons per square meter of land used than any other tissue production factory of its size in the world today. That was it.
Gotcha. So
yeah, very, very clear.
How about, can you briefly explain the logic and production flow that's seen in this layout?
Oh, yeah, sure. Looking at the layout, we can see that we designed the plant with everything under one roof. That's the first thing. And with a logical monodirectional flow of both the raw materials and the production. From right to left, we can see the production flow and the material flow is going from right to left in this layout. And it begins with a high density parent reel warehouse where we stack 3 reels high. A converting plant is followed by that, where the area is comprised of 5 high-speed lines configured laterally and very thoughtfully positioned to fully optimize the space. After that, you can see the converting is followed by a finished product warehouse, which in this case is on the floor. It's also known as block storage, precisely mapped to minimize pallet storage, precisely mapped to maximize pallet storage, big difference there, and optimize the space. And that's followed by the pre-staging area where the trucks are loaded, precisely dimensioned for the needs of this particular operation. And lastly, at the bottom of the layout, one can see that there's a raw materials warehouse organized in racks, which is also, by the way, fully managed automatically by our laser guided vehicles and our Smile80 software.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And after seeing all these layouts and videos, I certainly have a better understanding of what you would define as an automated and integrated solution. And the layout you showed us definitely illustrates the space optimization. So did this solution achieve the level of productivity and sustainability that your customer was looking for?
Absolutely. In fact, allow me to share the results of this. So basically, at full capacity, this factory, which is not a mega, it's really a kind of a medium-sized factory, will produce 60,000 tons per year and employ 150 people. That's equivalent to 400 tons per person per year and 1.6 tons per square meter of land used per year. These numbers affirm that we achieve not only the space optimization of plant productivity, but since all the equipment is energy efficient and the laser guided vehicles work with lithium batteries, it's also totally free of CO2 emissions. So we also achieved the sustainability. And I have to tell you, Brian, that anybody that crunches their numbers of space and number of people, land used, will find that it's not easy to achieve these numbers. And I know of only a handful of plants in all the Americas that come close to achieving these numbers.
Sure, I'm sure people watching are going to want to maybe see proof of these results. Can we see a video of an automated integrated plant in the Americas that reaches these numbers that you're talking about?
Absolutely, yes. I figured you'd ask for that, so I've had one prepared. And I just would like to introduce a little bit about this.
Sure.
So the video we're going to see is from Papel de San Andrés de Giles. It's located in Argentina. This is a plant that began automating its operations back in 2012.
Wow.
And they've continued automating in steps without stopping operations ever since. Today, our LGVs automatically manage its parent rail warehouse, all finished product movements, its finished product warehouse, which includes 16,000 pallet positions in an ASRS Smart Store warehouse, and the pallet pre-staging of shipments. It's a great example where I think all the viewers and we can have a look at what it means to automate the operations. Let's have a look at the video of these operations, Ryan.
Sure. So Gary, thank you so much. I can't thank you enough for all the information you've shared. I think our viewers will find this very informative, and
I hope so, man.
Look forward to seeing more from E80 in the future, and we'll do one of these again next year to see how it went in 2021. Apologize.
I look forward to it, and thank you very much, and thanks to the viewers for taking the time and to watch the presentation of today. And I wish everyone all the best. You too, Brian. Thanks very much.
Gary. Talk to you later.
Thank you, buddy. Bye for now.